As they entered Hainan Liberation Park, the sea breeze carried a salty, humid scent. Between the blue sea and sky, a towering monument stands opposite a century-old lighthouse, as if transporting the officers and soldiers back to the dramatic moments of 76 years ago. Zhou Yu, a new recruit from Hainan, grew up hearing stories about the island's liberation. After graduating from college, he made the firm decision to join the army. What he never expected was that the Landing Pioneer Battalion he joined was the very unit that had liberated his hometown.
今天，当我以英雄传人的身份回到故乡的热土，我感到非常的激动。
Bimajing Town in Danzhou, Hainan Province, was the first landing point where the PLA crossed the sea and stormed the beach during that campaign. Every Qingming festival, officers and soldiers of the Landing Pioneer Battalion returned here to pay tribute. The waters you see now are where our battalion charged ashore during the landing operation. Today the beach looks like ordinary sand, but back then, cactus thorns pierced their feet as they rushed forward without hesitation. Their battle cry was, "Better to die moving one step forward than retreat half a step." 76 years ago, during that battle, Fu Shijin, then the platoon leader of the 3rd Company, 1st Battalion, was on the first landing boat and died heroically. The officers and soldiers stood silently before the old platoon leader's tombstone for a long time. Du Yinshin once served as a soldier in the Landing Pioneer Battalion. After graduating from a military academy, he returned to his old unit as a new platoon leader. Standing before the tombstone, it felt as though the two platoon leaders separated by 76 years were having a conversation across time. I suddenly felt the old platoon leader standing right in front of me, vivid and alive. I could almost hear their determination as they shouted, "There is no retreat on the boat." Even under a hail of bullets, they protected the boatmen behind them with the deep bond between soldiers and the people. When they stormed the beach, their fearless courage and willingness to sacrifice embodied the iron-blooded spirit our battalion has inherited. Landing pioneers strike with iron fists, advance without retreat, and overcome every obstacle. That beach landing battle created a miracle, PLA wooden boats defeating enemy warships. But dozens of officers and soldiers who landed on the island never left that burning land. I am now on the ferry traveling from Linggao, Hainan, to Zuwen, Guangdong. This stretch of water is the Chongzhou Strait, the very strait the PLA once crossed using wooden sailboats. The officers and soldiers told me that this memorial trip included a special arrangement. In addition to honoring the martyrs who died at the landing site, they planned to visit Lantern Tower Corner in Zuwen, Guangdong, the departure point of the first landing force where 7 unknown martyrs are also buried. We must not forget them. We have to visit them. After winding along the Lingnan coastline for more than 3 hours, the officers and soldiers finally arrived at the Zhu Wenxi Crossing Memorial Park in Guangdong, where the 7 unknown martyrs now rest. Crossing the sea begins from the ground. The elderly guide speaking to the officers and soldiers was Zhang Beixian, a veteran who had once been on the battlefield himself. Seeing the descendants of the heroic unit, he spoke with emotion about his deep connection to the unknown martyrs. In a patch of jungle in a small grove, we found 2 tombstones. Why were these unknown martyrs buried here? After several investigations, reporters learned that when the 118th Division of the former 4th Field Army crossed from Lantern Tower Corner to Hainan, most of the fallen were transported back by boat and buried at the landing site. However, the bodies of several martyrs were washed back to the zoo when coasted by the waves. Local villagers buried them simply on the shore, and their existence remained unknown until Zhang Beixian discovered them in 2012 while working in the area. After so many years of erosion and waves, their graves had become extremely fragile. Seeing them like that made my heart ache. It was far too dangerous. So I decided then that they had to be moved to a safer place. From discovery to investigation, from relocation to reburial, Zhang Biaxian and local villagers spent 6 years finding and gathering the remains of 7 unknown martyrs and laying them to rest here together. Zhang told reporters that the search for each martyr left an unforgettable impression on him. Among the relics were pens, pieces of glass, and a thermometer, signs that one of them had been a doctor. Another soldier's remains included a perfectly preserved shoelace, tied in a neat, careful bow. When I saw that bow, tears came to my eyes. The loops and ends were so symmetrical, tied with such care. It showed how deeply he valued life. These martyrs had already seen the liberation of the entire Chinese mainland. A better life was right in front of them, yet at that moment, they still gave their lives. Every relic unearthed from the soil carries the warmth of the martyr who once held it, and serves as the only remaining proof of each unknown hero's identity. I believe that if he were still alive, the peace and prosperity of today's world would be exactly what he hoped to see. Although we know little about him, his name, his hometown, his spirit and sacrifice will forever remain in our hearts. We will carry his spirit forward. At the center of the memorial garden, the tombstones of the unknown martyrs are set into the walls in the shape of shields, symbolizing how these heroes formed a great wall of steel with their own flesh and blood. Behind me stands the monument to the sea crossing operation, built voluntarily by local villagers in 2016. It rises 18 meters high, representing the 118th Division's historic crossing to liberate Hainan. 100 meters northeast of the monument stands the Whirlwind Pavilion, built to honor the 40th Army of the 4th Field Army, known as the Whirlwind Army. The road connecting the monument and the pavilion is referred to as the Chongzhou Strait. The ship-shaped stone piers lining both sides of the road commemorate the more than 1,500 boatmen from Zhuwan County who voluntarily supported the PLA's first sea crossing operation. This place once faced the open sea, surrounded by blooming kapok and bougainvillea. Today, officers and soldiers have come here to plant bouquets, symbolizing the heroes, paying tribute to their courage and resilience. Ancestors, we are the descendants of the Landing Pioneer Battalion, and we have come to visit you today. When you gave your lives to liberate Hainan Island, it was a battlefield. Now it is covered in flowers and has become a free trade port open to the world. When you fought, you had only wooden boats and ironclad ships. Today, we are a modern, integrated force capable of both offense and defense, continuing to write the glory you began. Ancestors, rest assured we will carry forward the dream of family and nation that you entrusted to us with your lives. Your names may be unknown, but your achievements will never be forgotten. You are never alone because we carry your name.
登陆先锋营 ，Go Go Go！ 敬礼。
Now, let's turn to updates on the Navy's Silk Road Ark hospital ship. On March 29th, local time, the Chinese Navy's Silk Road Ark, currently on the Harmony Mission 2025, arrived in Fiji and began a today technical docking. Staff from the Chinese embassy in Fiji greeted the ship at the pier, and representatives of the Fijian military boarded for a visit. During the docking period, the Silk Road Ark will undergo resupply and allow its personnel to rest. Last October, the Silk Road Ark visited Fiji for a 7-day medical mission, during which it treated more than 3,000 patients, performed 426 surgeries and procedures, and conducted joint maritime search and rescue exercises with the Fiji Navy. It is understood that after departing Fiji, the Silk Road Ark hospital ship plans to continue on to Papua New Guinea. In recent years, militia forces have actively contributed to ecological conservation, regularly participating in efforts such as migratory bird protection and water source preservation to safeguard green mountains and clear waters. Spring brings flocks of migratory birds as they begin their northward journey. With rising temperatures, Ruing Lake wetland in Fuxin City, Liaoning Province has welcomed tens of thousands of northbound migratory birds. Ruing Lake is a key stopover along the Poyang Lake Siberia migratory corridor, attracting large numbers of gray cranes, ducks, white swans, and other species. To protect the ecosystem and provide a safer environment for the birds, the People's Armed Forces Department of Taiping District in Fuxin organized a specialized militia migratory bird protection team to patrol key habitats and stopover sites, ensuring the birds can migrate safely. We have joined forces with multiple departments to conduct three-dimensional monitoring of migratory bird habitats, building a protective barrier for their journey. Recently, the Yicheng Military Sub-District in Hubei Province held a naming and flag presentation ceremony for the Yangtze River Guardian Militia Company at the Yangtze River Protection Park in Zhaoting District. This marks the first militia unit in Yicheng dedicated specifically to protecting the Yangtze River. The unit is responsible for tasks such as river patrol drifting, dam protection, water management support, shoreline cleanup, emergency response, and ecological protection outreach. The militia company will carry out regular ecological protection activities to safeguard the Yangtze River and preserve its clear waters. On the 28th, the first National Innovation Class on Intelligent Management for Veterans Affairs was launched, along with a training program for new professionals in Smart Veterans Affairs Management. The Innovation Class aligns with National Vocational Skills Standards for Veterans Affairs personnel and offers courses covering policies and regulations, smart governance applications, national security strategy, emergency management, and more. Such an innovative program is expected to cultivate more professional, capable, forward-thinking, and action-oriented talent for the Veterans Services System in the years ahead.